I'm back. This is Dorothy with Scrapbooking, and I am going to do the digital art section of Christmasstory from our catalog. And so you can get all these printed papers, but you can also get all this digital art. And it's really inexpensive, plus you get the 2-page layout that's all set to go and all sized for you to use in your design space. So the digital art of Christmasstory is about $9.95 for all these wonderful pieces. So I went ahead and off camera, I cut all of the Cricut pieces so that I could just have them ready to go. And it's a real cute layout. So here's my holly berries. And we have a 5x7 picture that's going to go right in the center of this real pretty wreath. And I love the scallop detail on our pages here. And then, you put the little berries around. So I used scarlet for the background, and I used candy apple red for the berries. So it's a little bit different reds. So I'm going to go ahead and start sticking these down. It's page 2 over there. And I'm just kind of eyeballing to kind of get equidistant all around. So I love this wreath. And it goes underneath the 5x7. So you want to just kind of look closely at your picture and see which piece comes first, because there are no instructions with this. You just do a visual and figure out how to layer your pieces. So I'm just using my Tombow liquid glue, and I'm dotting the wide part of the leaves. Oop, and it's a little floppy, so you just want to make sure it gets in a round and not in an oval section. And then you cut, the bow is 3 pieces. So they're cut in scarlet also. And so I'm just going to go ahead and glue the darker part on top of the lighter part. So everything is symmetrical, so you can cut the pieces and then flip them over. So you're using one side that's dark and one side that's light. And then I'm going to go ahead and glue it down. But I'm going to put the 5x7 down first. And then we kind of have the bow going a little bit over it. Now you could raise this bow up with 3D foam. And I think that's what I end up doing, so that it's not sticking right to the, I'm taking the glue off because I wasn't thinking. Now, if you put it down first and put the picture on top of it, then you don't have to worry about that. But I'm going to go ahead and raise it up and use some anti-static pouch. Sorry, that was my husband coming in. Went to the post office and had a problem there. Sometimes those big drums, there's a package that gets caught in them, and then you can't open up the drum to put your package in. Always something, right? And it's getting to be that season where there's a whole bunch going on at the post office. So I'm going ahead and using my foam tape to raise, and it's the thick tone from foam tape also. So I'm going to raise up my bow to go over the picture. Then you can slide the picture underneath without any problem. So pretty basic here and pretty cute. And then it's a matter of putting the berries down. Now what I decided to do is just to kind of look at the picture and see where they put the berries. And I'm using my glue to just put dots down. And then I'm going to come behind and put the holly berries on top of the spots of glue. So this makes it pretty easy. When I do things, I like to do the same things at one time so that it feels like you have a little bit You work a little bit faster when you're doing things that way. And, you know, these little Cricut cut berries go down pretty darn fast. Now, honestly, instead of using a flat piece of cardstock, you could totally use gems for this, and that would be absolutely beautiful to use some red gems and have, you know, more dimension, and that would, you know, add a lot of interest. But I just went ahead and did the cuts just the way they came on the Cricut layout. So when I cut this, just FYI, I couldn't make it work at first, and I didn't think that I had this problem before. So I don't know whether it's new or I'm just forgetting everything, which I'm doing a lot of that. But I had to, in my design space, I deleted the red background from the digital cuts because it would not allow me to start cutting. It said something. It gave me a message that said, you know, it wasn't compatible, and that was the problem. Is that it was just because everything, you know, the biggest thing you can cut on the Cricut is 11 and a half. So, and of course the background is 12 by 12. So that's what was causing my problem. So if you have this problem in design space, then I would say just eliminate the background and get rid of that 12 by 12 piece, and you won't have a problem after that. So like I said, I don't remember whether, you know, I don't remember having that problem before, and maybe it's, you know, one of those special updates, or if I just forgot that I, you know, deleted the background before. It doesn't seem like it's been that long since I've done one of these, but you know what? Time gets the best of me. So we've got the identical background going here. So I'm doing the same exact thing and putting it down. Now, I will tell you that without using printed paper, printed cards, well, it's not cardstock, but the printed paper, your layout seems a little flat. It doesn't quite have the excitement if you don't have some printed paper with it. So I end up doing a lot of embellishing later on. Now, one thing I should have thought about but didn't, and I don't know why I thought I was saving these embellishments. I got the Christmasstory embellishments that come on some small cards, and there are gold glitter paper embellishments with white acrylic raised letters and shapes, and let me think, what else? There's like 3 or 4 pieces that come with cards that come with this like 6x6 pack, and those would have been absolutely perfect to embellish this layout. And I even have a really cool thin cut. Let me see what it's called. It's called Merry Christmas Layers. And there's it's a 2-layer thin cut that could do a title. I did like the font on this, so I went ahead and used the Cricut lettering. But it would have been good with the thin cut title also. And it's a small Merry and then a large Christmas. So that's just for your information. And I am trying to put these letters down. So they're, you know, about 3/8, almost half an inch above the pictures. And I'm just going to use the Tombow to put a little dot and then set the letters down. And I think I used the wrong A here, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, I'm trying to figure out whether I've got it going to the darker paper or the lighter paper. So it's like, what am I doing here? You have to know which way the font, you know, which side does that thick line go on? The right or the left? I love this D. And I love the Y. And I love the R. I could make my name really pretty with that font. I wonder what I could do with that. I'll have to think of something because I really like that. Okay, so anyway, enough Dorothy. I am just going ahead and putting the Tombow on wherever it's thick or wherever the dots are on the letters. And then I'm going to come back, because I sometimes had the letters facing the wrong way. See, that's the wrong A for this. Here's the right A for day. Now look at how beautiful that is. It goes perfectly with the other letters, but they're much fancier. And then I can't figure out, is that M correct? Kind of looks wonky to me. So anyway, I'm putting Christmas Day on here. And, you know, putting the letters down, I have to say it's tedious. I really like it when they do a title and it's all one piece instead of separate letters. I mean, it really makes life easier. Yeah, see, I put that on there going in the wrong direction. The light lines go on the left-hand side. So what I'm going to do, so you can see that there's some little paper fuzz that came up when I pulled the M off. So I am going to take my green stickles and I'm going to put some sparkly stickles on my letters. And that is going to, number one, it's going to cover up my boo-boos. And it's going to add a little glitz to the letters and make the boo-boo go away. Isn't that wonderful? It's better than a Band-Aid. So anyway, that's my start of adding stickles to add a little glam to this layout. And I like the layout. I'm not saying I don't like the layout. I do like the layout. Now you could totally use whatever papers that you want for, you know, you can just pick out totally different papers than what I've picked out for the layout. You could totally do what you wanted to do. And, you know, like I would suggest using a printed paper for the scallop or even for the background. And just the French vanilla, that's French vanilla on top of the scarlet. And look at how pretty this is. Once again, I'm doing it the same way. I'm just putting a little blob on the end of the little leaves. I think that's so pretty. And I love those bows. But once again, you know, adding some red gems that are glitter gems would be really pretty on this page. So I'm just trying to get ready, all set for with all my Christmas layouts. And look at this wonderful bow. Isn't that pretty? I really think it's pretty, and I love the light gray. Let me think, what color is that? Let me see if I can find that. It might be mink. I think it's mink is the gray. And the white cards, you can either use them as placeholders, so those are 3x4s, or you can actually cut your 3x4s a little bit smaller, and you can have a double mount, double background of cardstock, and that would be real pretty too. That would look very nice. And so I've got all my little berries going in place, and once again I did the little dots, and it just makes it so easy. They just go boom and put down right on top of where you have the glue. So there is the basic layout. That's what they show you in the picture of the digital art. So that's the basic part of the layout. Now I come back and I start using more stickles. So I went through that a little fast. I put the stickles down on all the letters, and I found these little gold bows that I had made a long time ago from some stash of ribbon that I had. And I just thought, let me just, instead of having this roll sitting around, let me just go ahead and make a whole bunch of bows and, put them in a little embellishment box and have them ready to go. And so this is from an old-timey stash. Couldn't find my other bow. And so I'm putting my glue down to just add, just a little bit, a little hint of a gold bow and a little gold glamour to the edges of the pictures. So I'm always going to add a little bit because you can't have too many shiny things, can you? And so I decided that I would add a little green dab to the ends of each of the leaves. And I really like that, the way that looks. And I have a tendency to make the stickles pretty thick. It took a long darn time for this stickles glue to flatten out and dry, I have to tell you. I kept on coming back every 30 minutes or so, and, it ended up taking hours for the glue to dry. But you know what? It's been hugely humid here, and that may have had a hand in it. And so what I'm doing here is I'm adding a little bit more shimmer. And so I've got the pine shimmer trim, and I'm thinking, what if I just kind of put a little bit underneath the scallops and just kind of give it just a little dab of something glitzy. And so I have just a little hint of the pine shimmer tape, and of course the roll, totally rolled underneath. There's the pine shimmer trim, totally rolled and came undone underneath my table here. So it completely ran away from me. And here I am putting it on. You have to try to, make sure you don't run your Tombow all the way to the edges of the scallop so that you can lift it up just a little bit. And I had my problems with it. I'm sure there's a much better way of doing this than what I've come up with, because my plan was kind of a pain, to tell you the truth. But it was worth it. Well, see, I smeared. And this is why you don't do things until stickles dries, because that's how you'll end up. So I do pretty good on the beginning of it. It's the end of it that's a problem. I need a third hand. This is when you need a girlfriend helping you. But there's got to be a better way of doing this. I eventually figure one out. But I'm just adding just a little bit of a hint under there. And, I like that. Just something to take just flat cardstock away from flat cardstock. Just a little bit. When you're using all cardstock to make your layouts, you have to find ways of adding a little bit of interest to the paper, to the layout. So here I am adding big blobs of stickles, so you can imagine how long that's going to take to dry and flatten out. And of course, I'm going to add a blob to each of the holly berries. And then I go off and come back the next day because, like I said, we were having a hard time getting things to dry back here. So, but in the end, I like the way it looks. So I'm just going to add some more over here. Almost done. Bam, the last one. Except that, no, there's always something else you can do. So, there. See, there's always something. So I had 3 little dots down at the bottom of the bows, just to kind of accent the V-cut on the bows. So I'm coming along, but I'm not finished. I'll be doing more, you'll see. But I leave this to dry for a long period of time before, I end up wiping off a whole bunch of stuff. Now, the one thing I can do is add some little strips for journaling on here. There's plenty. You don't have to have strips because, my goodness, there's enough white space to scribble on, but I went ahead and added some strips because then I can add more stickles to the end of each strip. A little red on one side, and a little green on the other, just so you can find it. So there we go with that. And I'm totally running off of my table here. Okay, so I'm back, and I decided I added it to the top. Didn't want to have you watch the pain of going through that. All of my stickles are dry. Used candy cane and the green, and everything flattened out and looks pretty. And then I got some of my gold sequins and put some more glue blobs down, and just did some random smattering of sequins up in the top corners. I also got a hold of the last of my sticker. Look at this, hardly anything left of my sticker sheet. And I pulled the 25 off and the little candy cane tag off. And so I decided to just go ahead and add the dots, and using my little wax embellishment picker-upper, I can just kind of move the sequins around to go on top of the little glue dots. And some more random dots. So I added just a little some detail to the top because it was pretty blank up there, and I just kind of decided it needed a little something. And then you can never have too many sequins either, so I added some of the sequins to the top. So there we go. There's my sequins and my little tags and all of my flattened stickles. That's all dried now, and the little bows. So I'm happy with now I'm happy. Now it looks shiny enough to be happy. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Hi, I'm Dorothy Smith. Thanks for watching my video, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel and learn along with me. Thanks. Bye-bye.